Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Phyrexia All Will Be One draft here on the channel. Thanks to Wizards of the Coast for giving me a free preview account in this early access event so I can get this recorded for you early. Today I'm going to be playing a quick draft, so I'll have as much time to talk about the cards as I want. Let's get started. Okie doke. If you enjoy the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe for more. Our rare is absolutely stellar, Thrun, Breaker of Silence. There's not a common or uncommon I would ever take over this card because it's just unreal. Can't be countered. It has trample and basically indestructible on your on your turn, and it's really hard to target with anything because it can't be targeted by non-green stuff, which most green stuff aren't kill spells, as you know. So we're gonna take Thrun, Breaker of Silence here by a landslide. If this wasn't in the pack though, it becomes a little bit more interesting. The commons are a little bit weak. None of these commons really jump out to me. I think the best one might be, honestly, hard to say. Maybe the Offer Immortality for certain decks is really nice. But I'm not thrilled to play any of these commons super highly. Mere Convert can be really nice as an early drop. A 3-mana 3/3 Menace is just naturally quite nice. You don't need to worry about the other line of text, which is never going to be on. And then Vivisection Evangelist is really good if you can enable it. But yeah, easy Thrun. So now because we have Thrun, we're going to bias towards green incredibly heavily. Which means that if there's like a close pick, we're going to take the green card. Here, there is an Annex Sentry. One fun thing that's worth noting about Thrun is because he's a massive attacker and massive creature, but that he doesn't care about poison at all. He doesn't necessarily fit as well into green-black and green-white, which are decks that sometimes try to win with poison as a win condition. So he fits better into green-red sometimes as a beatdown card, but he's still just great anywhere, so you'll play him in any deck. But yeah, Annex Sentry is the best card in this pack because just kind of almost a 2-for-1. Your opponent just has to spend their removal spell on this, or they're just going to be super far behind, and just a really nice card. There is, at common in this pack, nothing really truly special, nothing that I'm super thrilled about, picking early. This card's playable in the right shell. The only green cards aren't ones I really want to follow up Thrun with because they're just so much worse than Annex Sentry. This card's like a premium card, and these cards are like replacement level commons. This card's not my favorite. I think it's just a slow card, and similarly, this one needs a lot of setup. So we're gonna take the Annex Sentry. Okay. So now we've got 2 picks in. There's an uncommon and a rare missing. So again, not a huge amount of signaling. There is a Planar Disruption as a great early removal spell for white that plays well with Annex Sentry. So I think that's going to be my pick here. There is Mere Convert, which is, again, an early drop that's very flexible. It can fit into any deck. There's Ickerplate Golem, which can play well with some of the oil cards, but I don't really have that direction yet. And then there's Predation Steward is the only green card, but so much worse than Planar Disruption that's not really even worth discussing in the same sentence. Okay, we're seeing a lot of white and not a ton of green, but that changes here. Lattice Blade Mantis is actually quite nice. The ability to hit them with as a 5/4 that untaps itself makes it very nice as an attacker and kind of plays into a similar game plan as Thrun, because Thrun's also just a massive attacker, but this comes down on turn 4. So I like this card as an option. Bladehold Warwhip, if I didn't have Thrun as a card pulling me towards green, this card would be much more appealing because it's red, so I can combo it with my white cards I already have and maybe go red-white. Zealot's Conviction is like a combat trick more for corrupted decks. This deck doesn't feel that way so far, even though oftentimes white decks will have that element in them a little bit. So it's mainly between the Lattice Blade Mantle, the Bladehold Warwhip speculation, and the Zealot's Conviction. Red hasn't seemed that open either. We're not seeing crazy red cards. And I don't really want to take the fair. I'm going to take the Lattice Blade Mantle here. Blade Mantis, not Mantle. Okay, so now we're seeing some green cards, which is nice. And more white cards. Hexgold Hoverwings is just a pretty good card. The ability to give any creature you have flying, all attached to a 3/2 flyer for 4 is just nice. So I think we're going to take that here. I'm not a huge fan of Veil of Assimilation. I think that you would rather have just a creature than this because you need to be able to block early, and this doesn't deal with your opponent's toxic attackers if you play it on early turns. Charforger can be good, but we're super far from that type of deck. Malcator's Watcher can be good in some decks, and I don't really love this Sky Scythe. The 3 drops aren't really high priorities for me either. Hoverwings is a nice pickup though. Okay, this card can do good work. We don't have a ton of toxic creatures yet, but even just giving things +1/+1 can be nice. White has felt the most open, and then we can just pick up green cards here and there, maybe. Hexgold Slash is the best card in this pack, I think. Just great early tool to stop yourself from getting run over. And I overall just think this is a very good card in the format. Some blue cards, but we're not going to play blue. We're going to try to play green-white because we're seeing these good white cards. I think white is open, and we'll get enough green cards to make it work. And another Lattice Blade Mantis. This card is the easy pick out of this pack. Just speaking about some of these blue cards, I think Prologue to Phyrexia is just a little bit slow and, like, a little bit tough to use because you really need to be affecting the board on turn 2, and this card doesn't do that. Eye of Malcator does have some applications. It's been played against me and done some work. And then Crescendo is a nice combat trick. But yeah, we're just going to take another Mantis. Okay. So maybe our deck is going to have a little bit of poison going on, and we'll be able to get corrupted and able to buff up our other guys. Because we do have the Annex Sentry, and white is going to have, like, white-green is going to have some toxic stuff going on. But maybe we're not, like, all in on toxic. We just do it to get corrupted enabled for a card like this. Indoctrination Attendant is definitely a card that you can play. You can return another permanent, which does include lands. So that makes it a little bit easier to always have something to return to get that 1/1. But it's overall not a huge priority 4-drop. And I'm much happier having Lattice Blade Mantis, I think. But yeah, this also blocks early. We're not going to play red, even though we're seeing like late turning Reservoir. We're not, like, we just have enough good white cards and enough good green cards that we don't need that. But I think the Glider could have a home here. Okay, Basilica Skull Bomb. Red has been looking open here late, but I don't really want the Vanish. It's not really a card I'm super thrilled to play. But Skull Bomb can do some stuff. You can also just use this as, like, a way to, like, play more spell density while lowering your land count. If you get a few of these, like, just play them on turn 1, sacrifice them to help hit lands. I don't recommend doing that often because you usually just want to make sure you're very consistent hitting your curve so you don't fall behind early. We'll take Crawling Chorus, pass along the rest of the cards so that the people near us know that we're in the right color here. Ichorplate Golem coming around very late here. Maybe this is with bots, but bots generally sometimes have some decent pick orders. Skull Bomb, not a card I'm interested in, so we'll just take this. Sure, we'll take this thing. Just not super interesting here late. We'll just take this so we don't pass the white card. So the person next to us wouldn't think, oh, white might be open. We got a last pick white card. Okay, so we have not really a ton of green, but Thrun is good enough that the games where we draw Thrun, I think we're so far ahead that I think it's worth playing this type of deck still with green. Even though white-red was probably more open, white-blue might have been more open as well. This pack is not very good for us. The rare is quite nice, but it's for a green-black deck, and we're not going to try to splash here. Also, I don't think we want Crawling Chorus here. There's a couple of... there's a good blue, like, not great blue card, but it's, like, playable in the right shell. Card draw does get worse, because you can't afford to really play this on turn 3. You need to be, like, playing a creature that can block and stuff. This card's been really good against me. I had it be pretty good for me as well. It just becomes unblockable pretty easily, and that's just massive. There's Adaptive Spore Singer, which can be okay, I guess. Giving something +2/+2 in Vigilance. We're not going to play the Ichorplate. Proliferate can give this thing extra oil counters. Give the opponent an extra poison. There's also Complete Devotion. Mandible Justice. This pack is pretty weak. I think I'm going to take the Spore Singer because I want to try it. I haven't gotten to see this in play yet, which maybe means it's just bad because nobody's played it against me either. But this pack overall is kind of weak unless you're playing like green-black, in which case it's a great pack. That's just how it goes with opening packs sometimes. Maybe I want the Mandible Justice here as just another 2-drop. Yeah, I'm gonna change my mind. I'm going to take the Mandible Justice here just to get extra 2-drops. You need to be impacting the board early in this format. Ooh, and now I get to play Evolving Sleeper, which is a great 1-drop. You can play it early. It grows pretty easily as well. And good synergy pieces. There's Evangelist, which if I wanted to splash, which I don't generally want to splash here because I don't want to have the inconsistency, that could be an okay splash in certain decks. My deck doesn't really get Toxic enabled. So so it's not like a huge deal. I might not even play this glider at the end of the day. But we'll take the Evolving Adaptive. Get some green in pack 2 while I have the chance. Wow. Vivisection's Evangelist. Crazy. Pestilent Siphoner, Drown and Ichor. One thing that's worth noting is a color that looks open in pack 2 isn't always worth switching into, because you'll only reap the benefits for a few picks. Like if I switched into black here, I was like, okay, black looks open, I'll take the Evangelist. Or even if I did that last pack, I would have like 5 picks to capitalize, because once I'm wheeling stuff, it's not going to matter. And in pack 3, that color wasn't open, so I won't be getting good cards for that color. Sure, green wasn't open, but I already have Thrun, which is so much better than any of these cards on an individual basis that I think it's still worth going this direction. I think I'll take the Flensing Raptor here, maybe. I should be able to get some toxic stuff going, I think. It's better than Gold Warden's Helm, I think. And I think it's better than Terramorphic Expanse. This card cares about me having oil counters. I currently have these two guys that make oil counters on them. This guy has oil counters on him. White doesn't use oil counters, so this card's not really great in my deck. This buffs up toxic guys. I think I'll take the Maze Skull Bomb. I want to try the Skull Bombs out a little bit more. And I think the Fair Basilica is just not a card I really need right now. Or another Incisor Glider. But giving my guys Trample is pretty nice. Interesting pick here. There's another Hover Wings. Against all odds. I've not been as impressed with Feed the Infection. It's sometimes okay, but you really need to have a lot of early board presence before you can play it. Anoint with Infliction's been fantastic. I like Lattice Blade Mantis, and Hexgold Hover Wings can be reasonable, but I already have one of these. I'm just going to keep taking the Mantises. I want to get more reps with them. Incubation Sac is nice. It lets you make a bunch of 3/3s. But I think I might just take this Duelist of the Deep Faith. I only have a couple of 2-drops. They're not that good. And I need to make sure I can maybe enable, like, any random corrupted cards I have, while also just having impact early in the game. So I'm going to take this card. Branch Blight Stalker is a reasonable 2-drop, and I think reasonable 2-drops are the name of the game. Also helps buff this guy up, and it hits hard even if I don't care about Toxic very much. And the Possible Invasion is also a cool top-end card. I think I'm just going to default to taking 2-drops for now, because missing your 2-drop feels really bad. Okay, there's a Flensing Raptor. That plays pretty well with the Branch Blight Stalker that I already have. I think Combat Tricks are also reasonable, but I'm not really all in on Toxic. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Toxic creatures, and a bunch that aren't, so I'm not going to be drawing the card consistently for that. We have been seeing an absurd amount of good black cards this pack. Wow, we're just wheeling that card casually. That's super funny. I'll take the Complete Devotion now. Sure, Maze's Mantle. I'll try that card out, potentially. Indoctrination Attendant, another card I kind of want to get a couple reps with, maybe. Or I'll try this. Or I could try the Swooping Lookout to see how that card performs. As just an early blocker. Maybe I'll try this guy out. I like to be experimentative in the early stage of the format. Are we looking for the... Okay. Pack 3. Okay, we get White Sun's Twilight. This card is absolutely unbeatable. If you can cast it for X is 5 or more, you just kill everything they have. Plays really well in just any deck. There's also a Godlike Uncommon. Ossification. 2 mana, kill anything pretty much. Forever. Almost. Unless they have enchantment removal. Really good 2-drop. Really good 2-drop removal spell. Really good early game card. This is a great pack. But White Sun's Twilight shines brighter. And now we get to play Contagious Vorak, which is another excellent card. It's a 3-mana 3/3 that gets you a land or can proliferate. So pretty much the perfect card. If this wasn't in the pack, this thing doesn't really have much for me. Volt Charge is great, but not my colors. Glider, I'm not really still not interested. Super. I already have a lot of 4-drops that are better than that, I think. Porcelain Zealot could be good here. So yeah, easy Vorak. And now easy Infectious Bite here. Damage to target creature you don't control, and they get a poison counter, which can be relevant for, like, if I do want to play Random Incisor Glider. Mirror Convert is nice. It's just a 2-drop that can ramp you sometimes. Like, especially against poison decks that where you don't care about your life total, you only care about your poison count. This card's nice. And, yeah, I think that Infectious Bite is really good, though, and I need some removal. So, pretty easy pickup here. This card's a Toxic Enabler. 3 mana, 3/4, 4 mana, 3/4, I guess. Yeah. I don't really need 4 drops, as I said. My 4 drops are kind of good. I already have a Zealot's Conviction I'm not really looking to play. I could take Thirsting Roots. Or I could take the Fair Basilica. I think I'll take the Fair Basilica. And see if I still want this sort of card. There's an Incubation Sac. I think my deck has plenty to do, and it doesn't that slow. There's also a Basilica Skull Bomb. There is a Adaptive Spore Singer. How's my 3-drop slot looking? Do I have plenty to do? I do have plenty to do. I think I'll just take another Skull Bomb to try that out. +4/+4. Maybe I'll try that card out. It is a lot of plus. I just think my deck is not really in the market for a slow, making a bunch of 3/3s. Okay, I'll try out the Apostle of Invasion. One-shot them with the growth. Sprinter's pretty cool. It does just a lot of random stuff. I'm excited to try it out in some decks, but obviously not this one. Similarly with Chimera. Wow, late Duelist. That's actually really nice for us. And then we're just going to take whichever card is white or green in these packs. Sure, Zealot's Conviction. Sure, that guy. So, our deck has an interesting blend of wanting to win with damage and not damage. I think you have to be pretty all in to try and win with poison as just like a default, like Crawling Chorus plus like Zealot's Conviction type stuff is interesting. Basilica Skull Bomb. I think because we have Thrun winning with normal damage, we could play that card if we were super all in. So let's see what our deck would look like. So we have 52 cards here. I think 17 lands with the Fair Basilica makes sense because that makes it harder to flood out. I don't think we want Thirsting Roots because we're not splashing. So that's an easy first cut. And then we just kind of have to decide how toxic we want to be, because if we're trying to go for poison, we don't need this guy, but I think he's just really good as an attacker. The Maze's Mantle could go. Complete Devotion. We have 5 combat tricks. We definitely don't want that in our final build. I kind of want to try the Skull Bombs out. The Lookout's interesting. That's something to do on turn 1. Plays well with the Mantle. Does Indoctrination intend to do much? Return another permanent. Do I have any good ETBs? I have the Flensing Raptor. Annex Sentry. Oh, there's also a combat trick. Titanic Growth is the worst combat trick I have. I'm just going to cut that instantly. And I don't like Copper Long Legs either. I don't think it's very playable. So how many 2-drops do I now have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 2-drops is a bit low. I think I want 6 2-drops in most of my decks. But I really don't want to play the long legs. So I think I'll just make do. And I have the Swooping Lookout and the Evolving Adaptive as well. Crawling Chorus is interesting to get Toxic enabled early. How many Toxic cards do I end up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't think that's really enough to enable it consistently, but maybe I can get some stuff going. So I think I'm going to cut the Indoctrination Assistant. Porcelain Zealot maybe as well. Though that does play really well with the Duelists that I have. I can cut the Zealot's Conviction because it's not really a good combat trick for me. I might try cutting Complete Devotion as well. And I'll cut the Crawling Chorus. I'm just going to try to win with normal damage here. But this thing can still jump some of my guys into the sky. I don't think I need the Zealot. It does play well with these guys. And just buffing +1/+1 is nice. Maybe I don't want these at all. Maybe I'd rather just play like the Skull Bomb package. I feel like you want one or the other, maybe. Just consistency up the curve here for me. Pretty decent stuff to do at each mana slot. 2 1-drops. I think the Swooping Lookout gets a lot worse when you don't have a way to buff it permanently, though. Maybe it's just good. I found it to be kind of annoying against me. So we'll try it. Invasion, Thrun, Zealot. Zealot's almost like having another equipment. Need to make one more cut. Maybe I cut the Flensing Raptor because I don't have that many toxic guys. Yeah, that seems fine to me. I'm going to build it like this. Hopefully you found the draft portion interesting. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below. Shout out again to Wizards of the Coast for the free preview account, and I'll see you folks in the games. If you've been enjoying my channel, you can support it at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Patrons gain access to exclusive bonus content like my draft tier list for Phyrexia All Will Be One, where I grade every card in the set on an A through F scale and compile it into a handy dandy spreadsheet. I'd like to give a special shout out to the patrons who support at the credits level, and if you have been enjoying my content and would like to help the channel, you can do so at Patreon. Thank you to all of my patrons, and without further ado, let's get to the games. Welcome to round number 1. I'm going to play 5 games with the deck so that you can get a sense for how it plays out, but because time is limited in the early access event, I like getting as many drafts in as possible. So 5 rounds is going to be good. Let's see if we can get a positive record. Oh my gosh, what a great draw. 1-drop into 2-drop. The perfect start. This is actually really good. I'm not going to try and trade the Evolving Adaptive because when I play the Incisor Glider, it'll grow because it'll have more toughness. This is a 1-mana 3/3 at this point. Sure. And this is an artifact, so it buffs up that guy too. I'll send in. I gain 3 life, hit them for 3. I have 2 blockers that can block this guy, 1 blocker that can block that, so they still can't attack me. Oh man, the Rat King. Keep sending in the Justiciar. Even just giving +1/+1 is a significant boost. I'll play this because I do want to get this White Sun's Twilight out eventually. Sure. This is fine. I don't want to get some toxic damage on me. Oh, you do have to play these. These aren't cycling. My bad. Yeah, you always play those. Sure. I'll just wait. Okay. So I can triple block this thing. Just don't want this thing to be on, but it doesn't really matter. Sack the glider. I just need to hit 1 land. Easy double block there. Because if I cast this for X equals 5, I'm going to win. Because they're out of gas. Okay, Vorak, you can really help me get there. I wonder why it tried to tap me out of white or out of green or whatever. Perfect. So I can just do whatever it takes to avoid damage here. Oh. What? Urabrask is in this set? That's insane. What? I'm going to lose my guys anyway, so I might as well gain the 2 life from the Justice here. What? This card was not advertised as being in the set. It even has a New Capenna set symbol on it. What the heck? So now we're getting to see how good White Sun Zenith is. Like, they're just dead. Like, even if they play a blocker, I hit them, give them 4 poison. Or I kill it, hit them, give them 5 poison. So, yeah, White Sun Zenith, pretty insane card when you draw it. Call back to my first draft of the format if you didn't watch it. Recommend it. It's on my YouTube channel already. Yay, we got the win. Cool. Round 1 is in the books, and we have started with a victory. See you folks next round. Welcome to round 2. We have a keepable hand, though nothing special. No 2-drop does worry me on the draw. Yep, especially against this sort of start. Oh, gosh. This is where I really want the 1-2 flying vigilance guy. I'm just dead already. The game's already over. He's got corrupted by turn 3. Like, he kills this, I get 3 more poison. I have not felt good in this format when I do not have a 2-drop. Okay, I don't care about that card as much. And he doesn't have removal, or he would have definitely killed my guy, I think. So this can still hold back those guys. Oh, gosh. Oh my gosh. If I had been on the play, I still would have been crushed this game. Yikes. Oh my gosh. I wonder how often his deck does that. There was no card wasted in that start. He went 1-drop, 2-drop, 1-drop, 2-drop, 2-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop, got amazing card, 5-drop, amazing card. Just crushed me. See you next round. Okie doke, welcome to another round. We'll keep this. Swooping Lookout would have been really good last game. It's actually kind of unfortunate that we have the tap land here. I'm not sure if the tap... I feel like I get punished by the tap land a lot, but then sometimes I flood out, and I kind of like having the tap land. No blocks. junk. I was kind of worried about them having the +2/+2 put 2 oil counters on it. I'm never going to be able to block that, so I'm going to have to try to kill it with this. Sacrifice this, give the guy +2/+2, and then kill the Ichor Synthesizer. Hopefully I can just win this race. I'm dealing 3 to them a turn. They're doing 3 to me a turn. But they're at a little life total, and I have a life linker. Oh, gosh. This is not ideal. I'm going to take care of this guy. I think they missed a land drop, actually, so maybe getting rid of this guy's better. Just makes it harder for them to keep up with me. This thing they can cash in, get a fresh hand. But that's wasting their turn, and then I can hit him for a bunch. Yeah, so he's looking for... Yeah, he's not going to run out of cards soon, so he won't be able to fully maximize this, I don't think. Fair Basilica is looking reasonable here. There would be like 3 lower life, though, if I had been able to play this. So, just plain so. Sure. So it turns into a draw, too. See what I can find. That's going to be really good. My hope is that taking care of the Ichor Synthesizer was better than getting rid of that guy. But maybe them getting to keep the card advantage isn't great. Oh, they're just cashing in for a card. Interesting. This thing has a lot of oil on it. Oh, that's not good for me. That's not good at all. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I might be able to like force them to chump block and stuff. Or do some crazy blocks. They can block sack with their Flamestoker on my Lattice Blade Mantis. Oh no. Oh no. The comeback is on. Vigilance. So I can hit them for 5. They'll block here. They'll take 4 maybe. They're going to have so many cards in hand. But I do have a large board presence, which can win me the game. They can only deploy so many cards. That's the hope. Mantis will buff up my Evolving Adaptive. Gosh, this is terrifying. It's all about what they've got in their hand now. This has been an interesting game, though. If I'd had an untapped Plains, I wouldn't have the extra card in my hand that I have right now. But the Swooping Lookout would have done a few more points, which could have been very relevant. I'm going to have Evolving Adaptive as a 4/4 next turn. This is going to be a 5/4. So that means this and this is lethal together. Maybe I should have attacked with the Lookout. I wonder if they would have blocked with the Blister Zoa. I feel like they wouldn't have. I feel like they would have just gone to 2. Okay, this is 4. Massive hitter. This thing can attack in. Especially if I buff it up. So they don't have great blocks for this thing or this thing. And I have really good damage options. They could double block with these two. This guy already has a really good attack. I think attacking with the Swooping Lookout could have been good. But I don't want to give them the option to just eat it for free. Okay. Huh. Oh. Why didn't I factor that in with how this card would interact with the Lattice Blade Mantis? Oh no. Them putting an oil counter on that thing is a bad sign, I must say. Because now they have 3 permanents with oil counters. Wow, his deck is sweet. My deck just wasn't able to get across the finish line fast enough. Okay. Sure. So now it's all about this little flyer. Can he chip in enough? He only has 10 cards left, which is kind of funny. Gosh. He has 9 lands in play. I had 7, 8 lands. Did he sacrifice any lands? No. Death Touch. So definitely going to buff this thing up, I think. This hits a 5/4. If I make it a 5/5, it's better. But they'll just jump it. Yeah, I figured they'd do that. If I have Thrun at some point, that would be insane, I think. So I have 20 cards. One of them is Thrun, one of them is White Sun's Twilight. They only have 8 cards in their deck, and they might struggle to win the game. In that time, it feels like. And they still have to deal with my flyer. He's out of resources. Just this guy. The glider's really good here. Because now all of my creatures are going to be lethal. And I have a second lethal flyer. Interesting. If he keeps it on the top, it means he's probably not dead, which is definitely something worth considering. Sometimes, though, you can bluff them by keeping a card on top so that they think that it's the answer that they needed, but then you just realize that they can't win no matter what they have. Porcelain Zealot's been really good here. The buffing up of my Swooping Lookout has been nice. Okay, he kept it on top. Every draw step, I get more likely to draw White Sun's Twilight, which will just win me the game. He only has 7 cards in his deck. Okay, that's actually a really good draw. Lifelink, eh? think that's a reasonable block to make. Boom! Got the win. Let's go. That was huge. What a crazy game. My deck barely got there. Holy heck. Well played by both sides, I think. See you folks next round. Welcome to another round. As I said, I'm going to play 5 rounds, and this is round 4. We've officially confirmed that we'll get to play 5 rounds no matter what. Last game, Basilica Skull Bomb actually would have been a great top deck. Or the Trample card. So the Skull Bombs actually would have been pretty good draws that game. I'm just going to hope they don't have a kill spell. Planar Disruption on their 2-drop feels super lame, especially when this card can kill that guy. I need to just buy myself some time. Yep, I was hoping they didn't have that. But at least this way I avoid some damage. I'll sacrifice this to try and find a forest to play my Lattice Blade Mantis. So that's nice. I'm not going to draw a forest, I might as well draw a really good uncommon. Ooh, yeah. We're cooking. It only blocks as a 4-3, but we can block this guy with our 1-4. Lattice Blade Mantis hits so hard. I've really liked it in this deck. Instant speed kill spell. They might not expect it in this color combo. It is an uncommon after all. I'm pretty shocked they didn't attack with this guy last turn. I think they know I would have blocked with this guy. Or maybe they didn't know that I would block with this guy, but trying to go for that on blocks is so risky. Okay, Shepherd, sure. So if I play the Hover Wings, I have a blocker for this, and this guy can attack in this turn. The Mantis will do more damage overall over the next couple turns. I like having a blocker for the Shepherd. So this is going to hit them for 5. And I can play this thing as a backup. Next turn I can play this and attack this guy. This guy might not be able to attack next turn is the reason I'm going to go for this line. Definitely removing the oil counter. So I guess I got punished. They traded Conviction for my guy. But now I can just keep sending this guy because the 4/4 I'm happy to trade. And eventually I can equip the thing onto him. So you can give stuff flying. 2/2 helps block the 1/1s. I haven't seen any corrupted payoffs yet, but maybe they just haven't been able to play it very well. I guess this is a corrupted payoff. This card would be like unbeatable if they had corrupted right now. Just a 5/5 flyer. I'll use the oil counter. They'll probably block. I hope they don't have White Sun's Twilight. That would be bad for me. But it is only one card. They could just have like something useless. Yeah, I'll take the land. Proliferating doesn't do anything. Oh my gosh, I did not realize I could give that thing flying. Oops. I think getting my creature into play is better. Sure, do they have White Sun's Twilight? No, they do not. We got the win. 3-1. Confirmed winning record. Let's go. That's exciting. We have one more round to play with this deck to get to those 5 rounds I told you about, and have told you about many times since. And I'll see you folks there. Okay, we are into the final round. We're on the draw with a couple of Basilica Skull Bombs as redraws and a Duelist of Deep Faith. Is this keepable? Mulliganing is generally bad, and I have a 2-drop, and I have 2 redraws, and I'm on the draw, so I'm going to keep it. But it is sketchy, so it's not my favorite hand that I've ever kept. Okay, that makes the hand a lot better, because it gives me the ability to buy more time. Go, Duelist. Go. Fly, be free. If I draw a land, I could just start sending him to the skies. Okay. Come on, land. Come on, land. Let's go. Oh my gosh. They must really need a... Oh my gosh. The fact that they don't have a blocker is insane to me. Okay. Well, I've hit my lands. That was lucky. Lattice Blade Mantis. The Basilica Skull Bombs are going to be insane now. It just makes it impossible to interact with my creatures. They're going to be flyers. What are they possibly going to do? Okay, they could just kill it, but still. What else are they possibly going to do? There's nothing to do. They're unkillable. My creatures. they have diplomatic immunity. Opponent. No. What about the diplomatic immunity? I'm sure you've heard of it. Okay, will this be a toxic win? Maybe, maybe not. Probably just damage. I can get my guys flying. They've got flying with a Skull Bomb Day. I know you say la la. If you don't play creatures, you get wrecked in this format. Yeah, they're toast. Okay, that's actually pretty annoying because it makes it harder to use this. They're going to tap it, I assume. Yep. This way I hit them for 5 instead of them tapping this guy and eating them for slightly less. I really like the Swooping Lookout. It feels like you just need to get a guy onto the board, and a 1/2 blocks a decent amount of stuff. Maybe that's just my early experience being biased for me, but it feels like it's done some work. Synthesizer. Synthesizer, you are such a card. Gonna stop that from doing things forever. It might just be dead here. 2, 4, 7, 8. They go to 1. Oh no, they tap a guy, duh. They're at 8 poison. I have a 4/4 double strike. It's not felt very relevant to have a 6-drop in the format. We're gonna finish 4-1 in our 5-game stretch. That's awesome. If we win this. No, Whisper of the Dross is really bad for me to see. I hate to see that. No. No. This is not good. They've already enabled Toxic on me. Oh no. This thing's been playing out very well for them, so that's something to keep in mind. Heck yes, that's a huge draw. Giving me another lethal threat. Pick your poison. Oh, mwahaha. Oh my gosh. They're cruising. The only problem is they're at 9 poison and 2 life. Sure, they have 6 cards in hand. Sure, they could totally win this game if they somehow dodge me casting this card at some point in the future. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Oh, no, I choked. I needed to play this guy so I could buff up this dude. I messed it up. No. I also could have played the White Sun Zenith to make 4 1/1s, which are all lethal. But I worry about losing the game after doing that. Somehow. Like, they could have like a way to give everything -1/-1 or something. That's my fear, at least. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what I'm afraid of. I have 2 lethal flyers. They need an answer. Yes! We did it! Nice. 4-1. Feels good. Feels good to get some wins. Let's go. Huge. So, let's talk about takeaways from the deck as we wait for it to load. 1 defeat, which was pretty much just like getting absolutely crushed on the draw when they had an amazing start. Kudos to Lord Tupperware. But this was our deck. How do I feel about the construction? I feel like this deck was interesting because it tried to win with damage in a color combo that sometimes is in heavy towards the toxic side of things. But let's just talk about the cards. Apostle felt pretty irrelevant in that last game. Just any creature would have done the job at that point. But I could see games where it's really good. Thrun, we never drew it, but I know it's fantastic. Lattice Blade Mantis really performed well. Just attacked as a 5/4, was really tough to block, and even held back their attackers too, so that was great. Porcelain Zealot really did good work. Like, I was surprised by how relevant just the +1/+1 was, so good to keep in mind. Hover Wings, I drew it once. It was pretty reasonable. Or maybe I drew it twice, but yeah, pretty reasonable card. Vorak was great whenever we drew it. Raptor was pretty good. Sentry was absolutely incredible, because there wasn't a lot of removal that could deal with it, but it just always shut down their early offense. White Sun's Twilight won us that 1 game just easily. Bite was great. Stalker, and especially the Duelists of Deep Faith have been really good. Glider was good that 1 game. Justiciar always traded with something. I really liked Planar Disruption, just a key removal spell. And then Evolving Adaptive and Swooping Lookout as 1-drops were great. I mean, Evolving Adaptive was like a 5/5 a couple times, or 4/4. And Swooping Lookout, just being able to fly through in the air and be a decent blocker, was really nice. I think the Skull Bombs performed great. We never drew this one, but these two definitely did some work. It would have done even more if they hadn't had the tapper. So yeah, if you made it all the way till the end of the victory, leave hashtag Silent Thrun in the comments section down below, because his presence in our deck was not felt at all because we never drew him. So leave hashtag Silent Thrun in the comments to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video, or hashtag Finally Twilight, because if you watched one of my other draft videos, I first picked it in pack 1 and I never drew it a single time. So yeah, hashtag Finally Twilight or hashtag Silent Thrun to let me know you made it all the way to the end of this video. Remember to hit that like button, comment with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. If you'd like to support my work, you can do so via Patreon, which is linked in the description, and there you can find my draft tier list for Phyrexia. All will be one there. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.